Oh, this is more of an archival video. Essentially, to say very, very simply, I know so much. It's completely, it's almost like, it's very serious and it's very unreal. I know so much. I mean, it's just, all I can do is live my life, but I know so much. I know so much and I'm so smart. Also, I'm an extraterrestrial, meaning I'm the smartest person who's ever lived in all of human history. I'm also Lain Iwakura and a Mexican black woman, according to the float. Now that we've got the basics out of the way, I'm simply making this video to say, tonight I learned something about myself that creeps me out. I know so much fucking shit, and I don't talk about it because I'm just a nobody. I'm not a special person. My videos don't get hardly no views, and I post so many. I just want to make this video to say I know way too much and I'm far too intelligent. In my eyes, the smartest people who have ever lived are Immanuel Kant and George Hegel. They were both German philosophers, Caucasian men, German philosophers. They are the smartest people who have ever lived, in my opinion. But I'm an extraterrestrial, so I have an unfair advantage. You're not understanding that my schizophrenia is associated with real life. So, for example, when I said I was part of the Tosekai syndicate of the Yakuza, well, that was a real syndicate, and according to my schizophrenia, by a young Japanese girl who is a part of myself, I really am part of that syndicate, the Tosekai, and that's why I got my real tattoo. I've shown videos of of the tattoo I got. All I'm saying is I know way too much. I'm about to buy, once I have the money, Axis and Allies 1941, the board game, since I love war and soldiers and all that interesting things. Since, according to my schizophrenia, I'm the Cold War itself and a soldier from the Cold War who would have been Kichi or Lucille Munoz. Also, I wrote a book about this called Words Word of Christ, which was supposed to be a rigorous textbook, just like the Critique of Pure Reason, but I gave up. And now I don't think I'll ever complete it after what I realized about myself that I won't speak of tonight. Also, I'm not really a criminal, by the way. I was just a drug addict. I'm not a criminal. I was a drug addict. I'm not a criminal. Unless you count doing drugs as a crime. And you probably do. Also, I'm a very aggressive person in these videos. In real life, I'm nice to everyone. I'm very quiet and nice to everyone. No one knows I do all this hardcore shit in my room. And for some reason, I felt I had to prove I was the hardest motherfucker on the planet. So I did it today by doing all the work I did today. I mean, today I did 320 sit ups, 320 squats, and 1,040 push ups, known as short push ups, I made up. 1,040 of them. And then I read a book, David Copperfield by Charles Dickens, for 4 hours, which is literally the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And in total, I wasn't done. It took me 8 hours from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And there was so much oxygen in my blood. I mean, I was like fucking sleepy while I was reading for 4 hours straight. Also, I'm out of breath just from exercising. Still, even after all this time. Also, the other thing I was going to buy Was it like an 700 or 800 page book on the history of Mexico. I'm very adamant about learning, and Mexico is one of my interests because, according to my schizophrenia, I'm a Mexican black woman. So I wanted to learn more about Mexico. So I'm going to buy a book on the history of Mexico. Also, they speak like Spanish with a Mexican dialect. I don't really know anything about what it's like to live there. I've never been to Mexico. I'm certain it's very hard to live there. All I'm saying is that it's also very hard to live in the USA, even though some people just get away with doing almost absolutely nothing. I choose to do badass shit for no reason. I mean, I could just give up and never. I could become a loser. I could become a sloth and lie in my bed all day. But that's one of the sins of God. That's one of the seven deadly sins. So you're not supposed to do that. All I'm saying is like I'm so intelligent, and I'm Lain Iwakura. You have to understand. Have you seen Serial Experiments Lain? She is literally she's so intelligent, and she's amazing at computer programming and making computers, computer hardware, computer networking, hacking, all sorts of things. And she's also sort of a deity. I'm not really a deity. I'm not really a deity. Although I'm Lain Iwakura, I mean, LOL. All I'm saying is, what you're not understanding, this is probably my most important video. What I realized tonight was like so much. I mean, it was such a dark thing I realized about myself tonight. In regards to, it has something to do with the Latin Kings gang, and I'm not gonna talk about it. All I'm saying, it was very fucking dark. All I'm saying is like, bro, I'm like legitimately, I'm very good at reading. I'm very, very smart, atheistically as a human would be. I'm very good at reading. I'm very, very smart, atheistically as a human would be. But I'm also beyond that because I'm a hyper intelligent. So I'm more than that. I'm hyper intelligent. My schizophrenia, for example, affects my entire body. So it doesn't only affect my mind, but also how my body feels. Also, anyways, what I'm saying is, I usually just try to take it easy, since I'm recovering from my addiction to cough syrup. All I'm saying is that I'm a real extraterrestrial who is Lain Iwakura in real life, and I'm legitimately the smartest person on the planet and the smartest person who's ever lived in all of human history, even though I haven't read very many books in my life. And I'm going to buy a book on the history of Mexico. You're not learning enough from the internet. I mean, once you know the internet so well, there's not a whole lot you can learn from it. You need to read books. I mean, it's the only way.